Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Sketching Hour. We were off last week, but we're back. We're back with the most colorful hello. It's a very pretty hello. I am here, as always, with two amazing artists who are going to be doing some incredible, very improv art. And this week, with a twist. But first, let's introduce ourselves. Alexis, would you tell us who you are and which of these is your favorite color on screen?
Hi everyone, I'm Alexis. I'm the art lead for Untitled Champions, and my favorite color on that screen is yellow.
Nice. And Michelle, same to you. Could you introduce yourself and which is your favorite color on the screen?
Hi, I'm Michelle Papadopoulos. I'm one of the artists at CNE, and my favorite color is mixed between the blue and the green. If there was one right in the middle, that would be my favorite.
There you go, just a melding of the two.
Yeah.
And I'm Lauren Urban. I am the content coordinator for Idle Champions, and I'm kind of partial to that blue. That's a nice blue. But today, I will not be doing any of the art. Our two artists will be. Normally, we roll on these rolling tables over here for a monster, an adjective, and a cute animal. They mash them together. I work with the chat. We come up with awesome reasons why this monster exists. And sometimes it's a cute thing. This week, however, is different. We had a conversation 2 weeks ago at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. About famous artists and their styles. And there was a whole wonderful conversation. And the idea came up that Michelle and Alexis would pick a favorite artist. I'm not going to say their absolute favorite, but like a famous artist that's out there. And whatever the monster and the cute animal is, they'll draw in that style. And on top of that, we're going to ask all of you to guess who that famous artist is. And if you guess it right, chat, there might be another Electrum chest in it for you. So stick around and watch as some interesting art is made. I will be, towards the end of the episode, getting your guesses. But until that moment, show off your dice and let's get some rolling. I don't have to roll this time. It's all the two of you. So
Mine's just my normal sparkly dice.
Mine's a teal with copper fleck, I think. Yeah.
Ooh, nice. All right, so Michelle, I believe you have monsters.
Yes, and I got a 10, a bullet.
Ooh.
Whatever that is.
A bullet
I'll have to look it up.
it's a land shark.
Wow.
And Alexis?
Oh.
I got a 17 for Hummingbird.
Ooh, I think I just put that on the list, so it gets chosen almost right away. So as I said, we're not going to tell you who the famous artist is they're going to be drawing in the style of. That's going to be up to you to guess. But until then, we will be watching our lovely artists create a bullet hummingbird, which is a land shark bird. The overlay code is the code you says. Oh, okay. Well, let me go check on something. I might have done a whoopsie and I have to fix it, but that's okay because I'll have plenty of time to fix it. Giveaway code. I might have put the wrong code in the overlay. Actually, no, I hold on. I didn't do that. Hold on. Martin, hold on. Our lovely moderator, Martin, who is amazing and awesome, who is keeping this entire show together, who is transferring on stuff over from the chat, who is wonderful and lovely. I'm going to send a quick message to. There we go. And if I'm wrong, then, I'll just have to make another code. All right. Anyway, while our two artists get going, I would love to hear from everybody in chat how you doing. And if they have any questions, you can go ahead and put question in big capital letters before your question in chat. If you have questions for either of these artists, if you have a question about the game, if you have questions about hummingbirds, I don't know. I don't know anything about hummingbirds except they're adorable and they are amazing flyers. That's it. That's all I know. But let's see what we got. Oh, there's people already guessing in chat. Oh, Luke is already in chat, just throwing famous artists out there. So the plan is around 45 minutes in, give our artists plenty of time to get a thing, to draw the thing, and then I will start to look at the chat and solicit the answers. So you have a little while. So if you want to, do some research, if you're looking at something going, ooh, that looks like it's in a specific style. And then maybe towards the end, we'll ask our artists why they picked the famous artist that they did. Oh, See, we're not used to having two codes at the same time, but that's okay. That's okay. Guess what? Y'all apparently have two codes now. I can make a third. I have that power. Well, that's probably my fault. Yeah. That's probably all my fault, but that's okay. Well, hey, now that just means we've been gone for an extra week, and so you get a third code. That's how that works. All right, before I take care of that, I do want to show off, especially for our newer people, because it's been 2 weeks. So this isn't last week. This is 2 weeks ago. The geometric chameleon ropers.
That was a fun one.
Yeah.
These are interesting monsters. I love these. They're so colorful too. And apparently the audience liked them too because we got a lot of fan art. People really, really liked geometric chameleon monsters. So some of you may recognize Anita Artlet. We've got what is an adorable creature there coming straight towards us, being mesmerizing, especially with that
so good.
that eye right in the middle of its head. Just
I love the
right
colors of that one.
Oh yeah, and the leaves are really cool. And then at the far right top, we have one that came in from Discord from Kaylin and Dell, which hand-drawn, cute little creature.
So cute.
I know, right? Like, I
love
pictured
it.
this as like a little pug-sized creature. Just like snuggling up, except they're all made out of crystal.
Mhm.
And then your friend and mine, Banana Mobster, who took the time off they had last week to go through making Shadowfell versions of all the Idle Champions Presents characters in this classic style of theirs. And Orkira looks scary. And Banana Monster made something that is terrifying, but awesome. I love it so much.
Oh, that's so good.
You know you're in trouble when something with a toothy maw is coming at you. And those are big teeth. Anyway, back to the Hummingbird boulettes. For those of you that don't know, since it was asked a boulette, I'm not joking when I say it's a land shark. It's a big gray creature with a... I don't know, Michelle, you just looked it up. How would you describe the mouth on a boulette?
Well, it's like a serrated knife, kind of. It's like it's like a shell with like a crack in it.
Yeah.
As for a mouth. Something like that.
And it tunnels its way and it pops up and attacks people. And then there's hummingbirds, which are cute little flyers. So I'm very interested to see, beyond what these famous artists that you're emulating are, how you're going to make this work. Because this is already impressive.
I haven't even started making the style of the artist yet. I'm still trying to figure out the creature.
Ooh, that's a hint, everybody. It's a hint. Is we don't know who the style of the artist is yet, because
No.
they haven't gotten there yet. And I just love how there are... So Luke is in chat just throwing out names. Just names upon names upon names. And then Lurking Rider comes along and says, artist guess, Luke McKay. I'm like... So yeah. I'm going to try to be careful about not calling out specific artists that you all are picking in chat, because I don't want to give anything away.
No, this week I'm like, I'm just going to draw Michelle's art style. Michelle's just going to draw Alexa's art style.
I mean, that was a valid choice. If the two of you had come back and been like, this is what we're doing, I would have gone with it.
Most famous artist.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Newble76 is in chat asking if either of you work on art that is in Idle Champions. And I don't know if you want to go into any specifics, but I will say, yes, both of these artists have worked on stuff in Idle Champions.
Lots of stuff.
Yeah. The first couple years I was on it, I was just doing monsters. So I did lots of the monsters at the beginning.
I think like most of the monsters in the first like 3 years are all Michelle.
A lot of them anyways.
Yeah, and I've done a bunch of the backgrounds and a bunch of the characters and a bunch of other random stuff all over.
Well, so... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, and I also created the Boulette monster for Idle Champions. It's one of the few monsters I've done.
So there you go. So you are right there. You knew what the land shark was. And Raingar has a question for me, because I showed up on Champions of Lore this morning because the wonderful B. Dave Walters had the day off, and he wanted... I'm being asked if I enjoyed my lore appearance, and I did. I was nervous because I am not as much of a lore hound as, well, definitely as B. Dave is, but certainly I do not know half of what Aaron knows, and Trevor knows a lot of lore too. So I was a little nervous about that, but the two of them are awesome, and we're friends, and so I knew we'd have a good time no matter how little I knew, and that's what happened, is we had a good time no matter how little I knew. I spent a lot of time making jokes and talking about my experience in 4th and 5th edition, and then every once in a while pulling up this book right here. I got the Monsters of the Multiverse book, and just being like, and here's what's new! So it was tons of fun. Yep, it'll be up on... I mean, the VOD is available right now on Twitch, and that goes up on our YouTube as soon as we can. as soon as YouTube lets us. Every once in a while, YouTube is like, why? Why do you want to put stuff up on YouTube? Well, YouTube, we like you and we'd like to put stuff up on our channel. No, you can't do that. I'm sorry, you can't do that, Dave. Sorry, this turned into 2001. All right, now I'm just asking Martin to do more work. Because of me. That's why. Ooh, I looked over in chat, and I'm seeing a lot more... Okay, I'm seeing a lot more awesome guesses. Once again, I'm not going to call any of them out because I don't want to indicate anything. However, I will say, Archmagellis, I appreciate your guess. I'm pretty sure they're not drawing in the style of Taylor Swift. I might be wrong. I am not familiar with the physical, the painting styles of Taylor Swift. She certainly is an amazing musical artist, and there are many musicians who are multi-talented that way. But I'm going to give you a hint and say, it's not Taylor Swift.
That's next week's episode.
Yeah.
There you go. I will do a mashup on the oboe of a monster and a cute animal in the style of Taylor Swift on the oboe. Oh yes, so if you came in a little late, the two creatures that were rolled on the rolling tables are a boulette and a hummingbird. And I cannot think of two more completely opposite creatures. Also, a boulette, I believe, is large. I think it's size category large. And I believe a hummingbird is size category teeny. Teeny, 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 teeny.
Teeny tiny.
Oh, I was watching videos the other day of this guy who has a hummingbird feeder that he just has in his hand and has gained the trust of hummingbirds in the area enough that they just will come and land on his finger and sip from this thing. And it's kind of amazing to see hummingbirds not moving. Like, it's almost weird because almost all the time when you see hummingbirds, they are doing the brrr thing. But to see them come to rest is really interesting. And then you kind of feel bad when they take off because for a moment it looks like they're like, oh, thank you so much. Oh.
Maybe it's like the movie Speed where they can't like slow down or they'll explode.
Yeah.
See, now I want an artificer who creates little mechanical hummingbirds, and that's the timer. Is they can't slow down or they explode. And so however far they can get until they start to run out of energy. And then they slow down under 55 miles an hour and then they go. That
cool,
is.
guys.
But mechanical automatons, not real creatures. Not actual creatures that would be, it would be sad. Question from chat. Sailnit, what are some really good D&D lore YouTube channels? I watch Jordan Dan, the PH is silent. Well, the Jordan. Oh yeah, and he's really good. Really good lore YouTube channels. I am a fan of WebDM. They've been doing stuff for a very long time. I mean, our very own Todd Kenrick has a ton of videos out in a bunch of places. A lot of the stuff is on his own YouTube channel, but if you go check out the Wizards of the Coast D&D channel, there's some stuff there. What else are good lore? Do either of you watch or consume any other D&D media outside of Idle Champion stuff?
No, not too much.
Yeah, not regularly. Like sometimes I do, but it's more like, oh, how do I DM good? And I'll watch a few videos on that, but nothing on the regular basis.
Yeah. Just too much D&D in your work?
There can never be too much D&D.
This is true.
Maybe just too much computer time.
Yeah. Though that's definitely, yeah, I get that. Which is actually one of the reasons, as much as when I either play or DM, I am using digital tools pretty much 100% of the time. Literally the only reason I grabbed the book today is because Monsters of the Multiverse isn't on D&D Beyond yet. But I do like having the physical books, partially because I really like having the alternate covers, and I really like the soft touch alternate covers that they have. It feels so good. But also, I like taking the books and going and sitting on the couch and getting away from the computer for a little bit and reading through stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so being able to, when a new book comes out, being able to sit and read and not have to be looking at a screen for a little while is a good thing. Yeah, Kralin72, I agreed. Paper just feels nice. It does. Like, I also have, I have a couple of sketchbooks. Once again, not an artist, but I have some glass-dipped pens and inks. And so I got sketchbook paper, some of the thicker, like 50-pound, 75-pound heaviness paper, because when you're using that kind of ink, it just bleeds through everything if you don't have thick paper. It just feels good. It just has a satisfying texture to it.
Mm-hmm.
Touching my computer screen does not give me the same satisfaction.
Oh.
Also, making paper airplanes with super thick paper that's probably way too expensive for making paper airplanes, very satisfying. I feel a little guilty afterwards, like, that was very expensive paper, and now it's a paper airplane. And now it will fly. All right, back to questions from chat. Cassius335. Oh, Cassius is asking about the rest of the Extra Life streams to go up on YouTube. You are not being a pain about it. We appreciate the question. We appreciate the fact that you're interested in all of the shows that were on our Extra Life stream. I unfortunately don't have another answer for you. Once again, getting stuff up on YouTube is a challenge. Is more of a challenge than you would think. But I will make a note and I will see what we can do. Oh, Luke has a question.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. Luke has asked the two of you, but not me. Will you go see the D&D movie with Chris Pine that is coming out?
Oh, for sure.
Have either of you... is there like a trailer or anything? I haven't seen...
I don't know. It must be coming out in a long time from now. Is it? Or I don't even know. Does it have a date?
To the Googles. D&D movie, Chris Pine.
Definitely be curious about it, that's for sure.
2023 is the IMDb date.
Okay.
Dungeons & Dragons is an upcoming American fantasy adventure film co-written and directed by Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis DeLay, based on the role-playing game of the same name, and serves as a reboot of its film series. Oh, you mean that original Dungeons & Dragons movie is no longer canon? Oh, perish the thought. The film stars Chris Pine, Michelle Rodriguez, Justice Smith, Regé-Jean Page, Hugh Grant. When did Hugh Grant get added to the D&D movie? Okay. And Sophia Lillis. Sure. Oh, and they actually have some of the cast listed as their characters, and I don't know those characters, and I'm okay with that.
I'm imagining it as a Love Actually style, like vignette film.
Hugh Grant plays like an awkward love interest.
Yeah.
Romance in the Forgotten Realms.
Yeah, he's trying to woo an elf, but he's a centaur and can't get into her house. A very narrow entryway.
Well, I'm looking at the wiki for the film, and granted, it doesn't come out until next year, so grain of salt, everything. But Hugh Grant does have a character name listed. Would you like to hear it, or would you like to remain completely unspoiled?
Oh, let's hear it.
I'd love to hear it.
Now, all that's listed here, make your own assumptions. Hugh Grant as Forge Fletcher. I'm guessing dwarf archer.
I think that sounds like a really good guess.
I hope I'm super wrong. I hope I'm completely wrong or 100% right. And they're just leaning into it because you know what? I'm that D&D player who has made some pretty dumb names for my characters. I said I have an Aarakocra bard named Soria. So hey, I've done it myself. So a dwarf archer named Forge Fletcher. Why not? Okay.
Speaking of bad D&D character names, my first character that I ever made, like I totally blanked on the name, and she was an archer, so her high stats were dexterity, wisdom, and charisma. So I named her Dexwisha.
There you go.
Yep. She's like, that sounds like a name. Let's do that.
It's that moment where you're just looking around, being like, I need to come up with a name. Lamp. Her name is Lamp. Yeah. I've done that before too. Not Lamp, but something close. KPL here says, lost track of time and got here late. What did I miss? Ooh, well, to give the briefest of TLDR's recaps, welcome to the sketching hour, Lauren, Michelle, Alexis. Hey, look, they're drawing boulette hummingbirds in the style of a famous artist. Each one has a different famous artist. I will tell you that much. And we're not telling you who the famous artist is. You will have to guess. And when we get to about 3:45, so about 20 minutes from now, I will poll the chat. And by poll, I mean actually just look at the chat, not that we're going to run a poll. Sorry. I've already made Martin do a lot of extra work today. I'm not going to actually make him run a poll too. But I will look at the chat and I will solicit them for who is the famous artist that Michelle and Alexis are drawing in the style of. And if you guess correctly, there's a bonus chest in it for you. And not just another bonus chest, because I might have messed up things. So hey, welcome to the sketching hour, where we just want you to have lots of chests. We know that the event just started, and you all want Briv, Alindra, and Tatiana, because all three are awesome. And so we're trying to give you a little bit of help with some extra chests, because you're going to be busy for the next week and a half getting all three of those. The chesting hour. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Kralin72 says, any idea for an ebook reader that works well with D&D material? Been trying to find one. Ooh. I know that with D&D material, if you're just talking about the books, just flat, nothing special, I think any e-reader should be good. I do know D&D Beyond that a lot of their site works with screen readers. I'm not exactly sure about ebook readers. Depends on the thing, but I know D&D Beyond works with screen readers as an accessibility thing. But I'm not sure. To be honest, when I'm looking at D&D material on the computer, I'm looking at D&D Beyond on the website. Do either of you have any recommendations?
I usually just use my iPad and also use D&D Beyond. But I kind of use it like in tandem with also having the book, because I like to have paper things.
That's fair.
Yeah, I just use paper things too.
And I often have like the book out so that I can sort of read like the story part that's happening, and then I'll have D&D Beyond up so I can check monster stats and things like that.
Yeah. Well, if anyone in chat has any recommendations, maybe someone can help there. Meanwhile, since this isn't an official artist guess, I will pass this along. Wandering Brift says, at the moment, Michelle's looks very much like the art style from the 2E Monster Manual, which is, I think that's kind of a cool compliment.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say Wandering Brift's, just in case. But yeah, if you have any other questions for me or the artists, or about Idle Champions or about hummingbirds, very few hummingbird questions. I keep soliciting them mostly so I have an excuse to go look up more hummingbird videos. But yes, we do have Martin in chat who's going to be grabbing those questions. And yeah, in about 20 minutes, we'll start to ask you who you think these artists are. Well, let me ask, because the both of you at the beginning were like, don't guess yet because I haven't even started. I'm just working on the sketch. We'll give everybody a little bit of a hint, and I will ask, is some of the famous artists' style now evident in your picture?
Yes.
Also, yes.
There you go. There you go. You can now start guessing with actual actionable intelligence. All right.
At least I hope so.
Yeah, no kidding.
You know what? As the other person who knows who these artists are, yes, absolutely. Cassius335, my formation currently includes Desmond, Tatiana, and all 7 heroes of the plains. Nice. Yeah, my only, I just unlocked Tatiana a little bit ago and then had to stop playing because I try not to have the game running when there's, production going on. Because I'm trying to keep my computer lean when I'm streaming. And yeah, my only, the only thing that I wished over the last event that happened was Desmond comes out in the same slot as Baloth. And I wanted to put together an Idle Champions Presents Court of the Raven Queen formation, but I couldn't have the two of them together. But I love that you put Heroes of the Plains. That's honestly the same thing I do. It's become a thing in where now whenever a new champion comes out, I do that exact thing. And I'm like, it's all my friends welcoming a new champion into the game. You know that scene in Spaceballs where Dark Helmet is playing with his action figures and his lieutenant comes on in. He's like, I'm not playing with my dolls, sir. Idle Champions is me playing with my dolls. That's how I play. And I'm not ashamed of it. Fun question, especially since the two of you are drawing in the style of a different artist. Mm-hmm. Menelaner? Do Michelle and Alexis have any tips for learning how to draw as a hobby?
Ooh. Well, I think, get some materials that you enjoy drawing with, whether that's like pencils or pencil crayons or felt pens or watercolors. And then just draw a lot and draw things that you like to draw. Like if you want it to be a hobby, then keep it enjoyable.
Yeah, don't feel like you have to draw certain things
Mm-hmm.
just because you see other people drawing it. Draw what you like to do, because then you'll keep up the habit more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also if you like an artist, you could always do a study of another artist's work.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of gets me out of a drawing rut sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't really know what to draw, just get an image of an artist that's already done theirs and copy it, and it'll kind of unlock your drawingness.
Unlock that artist block that you got going on?
Yeah. Because it'll get you drawing when you don't really know what to draw. You'll get your hand moving. It'll give you ideas as you're going along, and warm you up a little bit.
I also, from the musician point of view, I would agree with both of those as really good suggestions for musicians as well, especially kids who are just learning how to play an instrument. The idea of playing something fun, it can be really hard for kids who are like in middle school, elementary school, high school. It's like learn scales, learn, all the fundamentals, and that is all really important. Mm-hmm. But most people want to play an instrument, or I'm assuming draw, because they want to create a piece of music or they want to create a piece of art. And yeah, it's important to learn those fundamentals, but without having the chance to play something fun, what's the point? And so a lot of the time when I'd have students, when I was teaching private lessons, when I have students who were obviously like either getting into a rut, or, hey, I'm here because my parents wanted me to be here, or I'm doing this just because, like they're not really having fun with it anymore. I'd be like, all right, what do you like to listen to? Because nowadays you can go to the music store and you can pick up sheet music for anything, anyone. popular artists that are out there. And invariably the kid will have like immediately an artist. And I'll say, all right, your homework is to go to the music store with your parents and pick up a piece of music by that artist that is for oboe. And that's what we're going to learn next week. That's what we're going to practice. And using that not only as a way to excite them about what to play, but then, all right, we can work on your fundamentals while you are playing the Beatles. And I use the Beatles because I am old. None of my students ever said the Beatles because they were always way more on top of the current music scene. But yes, it's an absolutely good suggestion. And then so not only doing something that you love and the reason why you're studying how to do it, but also then, studying other artists. So getting a chance to see other forms of physical art, or, hey, I'm going to go listen to different types of music. I'm not going to force myself to listen to classical music because I'm a classical musician. There. That was a weird side track we went on. We've got new people in chat. Okay, so new people who are coming into chat because I see guesses being ported on over. So Alexis and Michelle are drawing in the style of a famous artist. Each of them are a different artist. They are drawing hummingbird boulettes, and in about 10 minutes, I'm going to be soliciting official guesses from chat on who each of the famous artists are. And if you manage to get both of them, there's another Electrum chest in it for you. But I am avoiding saying any other artist names so that I don't skew any guesses, because I don't want to have to lie on camera. So yeah, humming boulette says barefoot monkey. Yes. But yes, I do see a lot of really fun guesses in chat. Oh yeah, Deep Cup from the Past. Okay. Yep. I'll get to it in a little bit. It's okay. Yeah. I feel like the chat is coming to somewhat of a consensus, but we'll see. We'll give the new people who just came in from the game, hi, hope you've unlocked Tatiana and having fun. We'll give you the chance to enjoy. What I love the most about this is not only do these two creatures look completely different, but because you chose very different artists to emulate, the styles are completely different. It's very, very cool.
It's actually, I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah, so
just drawing a different style. Like, maybe I'll do this style every week.
Yeah.
I'm so glad to hear, because I will say, and this was a question I was going to ask as we got further in, you were both a little nervous when we started off. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this done in time. I was thinking about this artist, but I didn't know if I had enough time. So now that we're, 35, 36 minutes in, and the both of you are rocking it, what's one thing that you thought, we can use this as a tease for those who are still guessing, what's one thing you thought would be hard to do in this hour with this artist that you've now done that you don't think is as hard? Or maybe you found it as hard. I don't know.
At the beginning, I just didn't know which one to do, which artist to do. And so I was thinking of all these artists and like, oh, that might be tricky. But this particular artist, I really like the style, and I'm kind of influenced by it in my personal work. So I find it easier to emulate. Just because I've done it before in some of my other work, because he's such a big influence.
How about you, Alexis?
This is actually, this one's quite different than the stuff I normally do. So in that sense, it's been kind of fun just to switch things up. And I was just, I guess, mostly just worried that it would be not close at all, and that just leave everyone wondering. So, but I think it's turning out decent in terms of a copy.
Once again, as the other person who knows who the artist is, I will say, absolutely, the both of you are knocking it out of the park. And considering the guesses that are happening in chat, I think people are catching on. I think they are.
Okay.
Oh, Here's an interesting art adjacent question. Luke wants to know, have either of you seen Exit Through the Gift Shop?
Yeah,
I haven't.
a long time ago. I can't remember exactly. It's about, that artist, the street artist. Is that
Banksy.
Banksy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who is the famous artist, I will say, as I'm pretty sure no one at this point is guessing Banksy. So I'll feel confident saying that. But yeah, I saw it a while ago too. I actually think I saw it with Luke. Do you said you saw it a while ago. Do you remember anything about it that stood out to you as a fellow artist?
I don't know. It was so long ago. I can't remember exactly. It was just like about him, right? It was kind of like a documentary about him, and he ended up like turning the cameras around, or like on. Yeah, I can't remember exactly, but it was really cool. I remember liking it.
It was like a documentary that was supposed to be about him, and then it became more about the film crew trying to film him than
Right. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, now that we've talked about Banksy, who is a famous, I think, street artist is the official title.
I think so.
Graffiti artist, maybe. Have either of you ever done graffiti?
No.
No. Other than carving my initials into a tree.
You don't count that?
I mean, I guess so, but all kids do that, don't they?
I think all kids do some graffiti, and I would totally count that.
Okay.
I mean, it's adorable graffiti, though, right? It's like The Giving Tree. That's a book. I don't know if anyone in chat has read The Giving Tree. It is like the saddest children's book ever. It's supposed to be heartwarming. It is absolutely so sad. And sometimes I do wonder about children's books just because they're brightly colored and they're supposed to have a moral. And then you're like, well, and now I'm depressed.
I have read The Giving Tree before.
And it's depressing, right?
It is. It's very sad.
I feel so bad for that tree being used like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's beautiful, and yeah, I love it so much, but it is. I had a book of Shel Silverstein's poems. I think I had 2 of them. I think they were like a collection that I loved, but a lot of them were surprisingly dark. Like, here's something in fun rhyming and for kids, and then every once in a while I'll be like, and then they were eaten by a snake. But told in Shel Silverstein, very eloquent, very, rhyming style. Okay, we've got a couple more minutes before I'm going to start taking official guesses. And we've got Grambleites asks a very good question. For those of us who are less artistically literate, me included, can you say a little about the artists once they are revealed? And I was planning on asking the 2 of you, so hopefully I'm not looking for like a dissertation on these 2 artists, but definitely people will have some fun questions.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Deadman 43212 makes a very good point. Read the originals from the Brothers Grimm. This is very dark. Absolutely. But I feel like they're super dark, but they're meant to be cautionary tales. They're meant to scare children into doing the right thing. And they're wonderful and amazing, but they are like, that's their purpose. And then there's stuff like The Giving Tree, which has a moral to it, but I don't think it's meant to actually scare people or be dark or be sad. I think it's supposed to be a happy, uplifting story. But when you think about what happened to that tree, it's not. It's super not, especially as you flip through it fast and it starts as this lush tree, and by the end of it, it's like there's nothing left. Oh no. Irene UK. I'm still traumatized by the story called Brown Baby IIRC. Oh yeah, and a children's Christmas storybook, which basically turned out to be about vampires sipping on a baby. Woof, yeah. Wow.
Oh no.
Yeah, some dude chilling says, also watch The Brothers Grimm with Heath Ledger and Matt Damon.
I actually started to watch that the other day, and then I got distracted by something.
So that doesn't speak very highly of this movie, though.
Well, I was doing food prep while I had it up, and then I had to like turn it off and go vacuum. So, yeah. I was like, okay, done food prep. Now I have to vacuum, and it's really hard to watch TV and vacuum at the same time.
This is true. This is very true. Okay.
Those chores don't mix.
I don't think I saw that one. I have a vague memory of hearing about it, but all I can think of is the Hansel and Gretel movie that had I've just lost his name. The guy who was Hawkeye in Avengers.
Jeremy Renner.
Jeremy Renner. Thank you. Jeremy Renner. And someone else who also don't remember. What I remember about this movie is that it was super dumb fun. It was ridiculous fun. Was it a good movie? Was it fun? Absolutely. I think Luke and I actually saw it together in the theater, and we might have been the only two people in the theater. It was one of those. It was one of those movies. There was a moment in where there was like a semi-serious, like, oh, here's a weird moral in the middle of this dumb fun movie about, grown-up Hansel and Gretel slaying monsters. Sure. All right. It's time. It's time, chat. It's time to get your guesses in. I would like to know, can you guess the style of the famous artists that are here? Okay. So we'll go with the one that almost all of you have gotten. Alexis, you do have Andy Warhol, correct?
You do, yes.
Yes.
Correct. Good job, everyone.
Would you talk a little bit about Andy Warhol and why you chose him?
Well, I'll start with the easy part. Why I chose him is I wanted to do something colorful and bright that I thought would be sort of interesting to do, but also somewhat easy to guess, especially as soon as I split it. I was pretty sure everyone would get it.
Yeah.
And then as for about Andy Warhol, so he is a pop artist. And mostly people would know him by his like Campbell soup cans and like the Marilyn Monroe portraits, but he also did a bunch of other types of art like sculpture and film and photography. And I believe like his inspirations were a lot about like consumerist culture as well as pop culture, which makes sense as he's a pop artist. Yeah.
So good job. Good job to everybody. I will say, Michelle, they haven't quite guessed yours yet.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if that would happen or not.
There's been some good guesses. We've had Alan Lee. We've had a lot of people saying E.H. Shepard. We had a couple people saying someone from the Audubon Society, which I actually thought was really cool. But not a specific person. Okay. Diego Fazo says True Wanaheda. No. Would you like to maybe give a hint?
He was a Golden Age illustrator, and he's British.
Ooh, to the Googles, everybody. It is not E.H. Shepard, as far as I know. And Martin may be able to clarify, but no one has guessed your specific artist in chat.
Okay, interesting.
It's Doorbell Streams. It is not James Audubon. It is not T.S. Chevette 74. We have a winner. They said Arthur Rackham.
That's it, Arthur Rackham.
Arthur Rackham. All they needed was a tiny, tiny little hint. So, same question. Tell us a little bit about Arthur Rackham and why you picked him.
Well, I just love his style. He's a very whimsical style. He was a Golden Age illustrator in, I think, like late 1800s. And he did a lot of like children's illustrated books, like, and he does a lot of like, he's really well known for all his like gnarly trees that he draws. He's really good at drawing trees, which I love. And he's illustrated books like Peter Pan and like, I don't know, all kinds of fairy tales. So he has kind of a very whimsical fairy tale style.
And I love this. I will say a lot of the guesses that were coming up were very close, like
Mhm.
thinking about their styles. And a couple of people I had to look up on the side and be like, I don't know who this person is. But I could totally see. But yeah. And so there you go. You managed to get the trees on in there and everything.
Yeah.
So what was the hardest part about drawing in this style for you?
The hardest part, well, for him, like his line work is really important. He has very subdued colors, so it's mostly the lines that pop out. So I just wanted to get that kind of like whimsical line work in, and the color kind of came later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Alexis, how about you?
I'm trying to stretch it out to fit the time because since screen printing is sort of boiled down into the simplest parts like shadow and then color and blocks of color. Once you have that sort of line work or shade in, it's like you can just swipe in the color and it's done. So like, all right.
And I did appreciate
I can take.
Yeah. I did appreciate the beginning how you were like, no one's gonna guess mine until the very end when I start adding color. And there was a few people who were guessing, but I think they were making educated, true guesses.
Mhm.
And then kind of as soon as you got that first splash of color on in, all of a sudden Warhol was just all over the chat. I'm like, they gotcha.
Mm-hmm. I did see one very early Warhol guess, but I wasn't sure if it was specific or if it was just like naming artists.
Yeah, well, we know that the love of my life, Luke McKay, was in chat just throwing out lots of names before either of you had even put a line on the page. So I respect the attempt. Oh, interesting. Squishy Chameleon says this explains why I was getting Brian Froud.
Oh, yeah.
F-R-O-U-D.
Mhm.
He was inspired by Rackham. So there you go.
For sure.
So you were so accurate. You were getting other artists who were inspired by him.
Yeah. There's so many artists who are inspired by him. So many.
All right. So I don't know if Martin already did this. He probably did, and I missed it because this has been the day. Have we released the bonus code? Because chat got it. Chat got the answers. Y'all did good. So the reason there was there we go. 1, 2. Hey, there we go. So that's all 3 of them. So the reason there's 3 chest codes is because I made a mistake when I was formatting the backstage documents, and I put the wrong code up there and then gave the wrong code to Martin. So that is on me. So you get 3 chest codes. There you go. 3 Electrum chests. Have some fun. But you know what? You missed last week, and so think of it as a backup. Mm-hmm. All right. So I think next week we're back to our regular rolling tables.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get some adjectives back on in there. And then the week after that, we are taking a break. There will be a little pause, just 1 week. So next week, come back where we will have all 3 of our rolling tables. We will have, and we might do this again. There were a lot of people in chat who were saying that they really enjoyed this. Did the 2 of you enjoy this?
Oh, yeah.
It was really fun.
Good. And maybe next time, now that you know that you can knock these out of the park, maybe next time you'll go for one of those artists. You're like, oh, I'd like to do this artist, but that might be too hard in an hour.
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
I mean, here we are. We still have a couple minutes left, and you're like, I'm done. All done. I mean, you could have done 4 more of these Andy Warhols. Just like, poop, 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 poop. We could have had an entire forest of trees.
Yeah.
I think what I'm going to have to do, so normally I put your art together into one image to show off on the Discord and show off on social medias. Oh, yeah. Discord.gg/Idle Champions if you want to see all the previous art. Take a drink. Mm-hmm. I think just because these are 2 completely different styles, I may have to keep them separate because it might look a little weird. I might have to do 2 different promotional pieces. Mm-hmm. I will think about that. While I think about that, Alexis, where can we find more of your fantastic art?
I'm on Twitter at AlexisThero and on Instagram at alexis.thero.
And Michelle, same question. Where can we find more of your fantastic art?
I'm on Instagram at, is it Michelle Papadopoulos? Yeah. And then on Twitter at Art of Michelle.
Awesome. And you can find me on Twitter as Lauren. You can find me in Idle Champions playing through Unlocking Tatiana right now in Festival of Fools. Definitely go check that out. Also join us on Mondays for the 4th episode, I had to count that out, of Idle Champions Presents Court of the Raven Queen. There should be a new vote up in the game right now. And hey, if you like the Shadowfell skins, there's a bunch of them, and they're kind of cool. And they are nothing like the 2 styles that we have on the screen. Anyway, thank you to Martin for basically fixing all of my mistakes. Thank you. Thank you to chat for your lovely, lovely guesses. Thank you to Luke for being in chat and just throwing out names all over the place. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Hi, thanks everyone.